Hi guys, this is Charan, your technical trainer for AWS Solution Architect Associate level. So before getting into started with what is AWS, what is the Solution Architect Associate certification, we just need to know what is cloud computing, why do we need cloud, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud, what are the deployment models, what are the service models which are available on the market today, and who are all the cloud service providers on the market today, and what is the percentage of the market acquirement of the particular cloud providers, right? So let's get started. So before getting into AWS Solution Architect Associate level examination or certification course, we'll be deeply discussing into the basic introduction of the cloud computing. So before going through what is cloud, we just need to know what is a scenario before the cloud computing evolved. So let's take an example that you have a company and that needs to store all their data, right? And the software is on their own by managing hard drives and servers. So bigger the company, the more the storage is needed, and more the number of servers, routers, load balancing, etc. So these will be uh, this will be the case when before the cloud computing evolved, and now comes the cloud computing, the existing, and currently the cloud computing is evolving like anything, like a simple startup company and a big MNC companies, nothing differentiated. They are all moving into cloud computing, like to host their servers, to host their storage services, these kind of things. So let's discuss further. So these are all the topics that we are going to cover today. Now, under that, what we are going to discuss is what is cloud, and why do we need cloud? No, who are all the cloud providers? What are the service models? What are the deployment models? And a brief, no, and a brief explanation or brief introduction, I would say, on Amazon Web Services. So before going into the things, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing Cloud computing is an on-demand access via the internet to compute resources, application, services, servers like physical and virtual servers, data storage, no, and deployment tools, networking capabilities, and more. These are hosted in a remote data centers managed by the cloud service providers, and we are just renting the services, right? Let me take an example of Flipkart application or else Amazon application. So these these applications need to be hosted somewhere in the server, right? So these applications should be hosted in some servers. So let's take a big billion day or no, and a festival offer. Though obviously the load on these applications are going to be huge at this point of time. Before cloud, they used to buy the servers for the upcoming event. No, if it works fine, then we are good. If you are not going to get the sufficient load for the servers, and the amount, the pay or the money which we spent on the servers will be wasted, I would say. So to overcome all these things, we have a cloud providers on market now. So they're going to provide us a servers, computing services, data storage services, networking services, deployment tools, these kind of things as a rent. Right? We just go to them, rent the services, and pay for what we are going to use. So what is cloud all about? The cloud is the internet. More specifically, it is all the things you can access remotely over the internet. When something is in the cloud, it means you're storing it in a internet servers instead of your computer hardware, right? So what is the main purpose of this cloud? What is the main motto of this cloud computing? It also enables users to access the same file and the same application from almost any devices, because the computing and the storage takes place on the servers in the data center instead on your local device. So we can take a best example as Facebook, right? You're going to upload your photo or you're going to upload your post on your mobile, and someone or either you only can access the same account with the another machine. So you're going to access your data which you have uploaded with your mobile, and you're going to access the same data on your laptops, right? So these files are shared over the internet, right? So you are hosting your application, Facebook application, on the server. In returns that you are going to upload your photo to the Facebook application that replicates on the other machine. So examples, as I mentioned here, Gmail, right? So many other examples also we can take, like Google Maps, right? Google Drives, PayPal, what we can say, PayPal, payment application, Spotify, WhatsApp, Facebook, and many more, right? And why do we need cloud? So before discussing into the things, why do we need cloud, let's discuss on advantages of cloud computing, right? So we have a many number of advantages using cloud computing. First of all, we can back up and restore data. So once the data is stored in the cloud, and it is easy to get a backup and restore the data using the cloud. So the best example can be WhatsApp messages, right? You can back up and restore the data at any point you want, or else you can schedule it also, right? And next comes the improved collaboration. So when we talk about improved collaboration, cloud application helps us to get a more improved collaboration by allowing groups of peoples to quickly and easily share information on the cloud via shared storage, I would say, like Drive, Google Drive, OneDrive, exact example, etc. So these kind of things, we can have a collaborative way to communicate or to share the information or share the documents over the cloud. And we have an excellent accessibility, so that allows to quickly and easily access your stored information at anywhere, at any point of time, from anywhere in the world, using the internet connection. And we also have an advantage of having low maintenance cost. Why? Because these cloud computing reduces both hardware and software maintenance cost for any organization, right? And next comes the mobility, right? These cloud computing allows us to easily access all your cloud data via mobile, right? Example, I can say cloud, AWS cloud providers, you know, management console, AWS cloud provider AWS management console. So we can use the web page over the mobile also, so that you can log into your management console account, and you can access your whole infrastructure through the mobile if you have an internet connection. And next comes the disaster recovery. We also can recover the data if the disaster happens in a particular region or a particular availability zone where we actually hosted the application through a simple configurations. Let's say you have, what I can say, you have hosted your application somewhere in North Virginia, or specified to India in Mumbai region. So the whole region or whole availability zone goes down, or something happened, natural disaster things can happen, right? So for the data center, so at that point you can still you can still recover your data from the cloud providers, where they can support us to have the data in a multiple data centers with the simple configurations. And next comes unlimited storage capacity. So cloud offers us a huge amount of storage capacity for storing important data such as documents, images, audio, video, etc. in one place. And next comes automatic software updates, right? So we all know that servers are maintained by the cloud providers, and many of the cloud providers take care of updating softwares on their machines. In return, that we get the latest software patches, updated systems to work on, right? And next comes the data security. It is one of the most important and biggest advantage of the cloud computing. It offers many advanced features, I would say, related to the security, and ensure that the data is securely stored and handled. And guys, when there is an advantage, there is obviously an disadvantages also. But comparatively, comparatively to own data centers, cloud, when we move to cloud, there is less disadvantages, and these are listed here. One is internet connectivity. So we are going to access our data from the cloud providers or on the cloud over the internet. Let's imagine you don't have an proper internet connection, but at this time you need to access your data, as you are the owner of the data, but you can't access the same data if you don't have an internet connectivity. Next comes vendor lock-in. So imagine you guys hosted an application in AWS cloud providers, and because of some cost cutting things and because of some security, you or your organization is thinking to move to AWS, move from AWS to Azure. Now, it might be different platforms, right? AWS is a different platform. Azure, Microsoft Azure is a different platform. Google Cloud Provider is a different platform. When you hosted your application and it is released to the market, and now you want to safely shift these application to another provider, it will be quite difficult to shift your application to one provider to the another provider. And next comes the limited control, right? So guys, our applications are hosted in this particular server that is with the cloud providers, and now we are accessing that servers remotely. So these servers will be maintained, managed and monitored completely by the cloud providers. We have very less control over the infrastructure, or less configuration settings. I mean, less control over the data which we hosted on the cloud. And next comes the security. Although the cloud security providers, no, although the cloud service providers implement the best security standards to store important information, but before adopting the cloud technology, you should be aware that you will be sending all your organization sensitive information to the third party. That is nothing but the cloud providers, right? You're hosting your applications, or you're storing your own sensitive data over the third party providers, that is Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, anything. While sending the data, the cloud, while sending the data on the cloud, there may be a chances that your organization information can be hacked by the hackers, or you need to be as a cloud engineer, you need to be more aware of the security compliances with the particular cloud providers, that ensures you to secure your data in a more better way. If you are not well knowledge on security features that cloud provider is providing, then you are losing your secured, what I can say, you can lose your security over the data. And as you can see, till now we have discussed more on cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform. So these are all the providers actually. These organization provides cloud computing services to the market or to the end users. right? In that, Amazon is acquired almost 35% of the market on their own, and Azure is giving a equal competency, I would say. It is with 21%, and Google Cloud, it is still evolving slowly with the 10 percentage. And rest of these things like Alibaba Cloud, IBM, Salesforce, Tencent Cloud, Salesforce, Oracle, these are all the other cloud providers where you can use, for different purposes, I would say. And next comes service models in cloud computing, that is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS is nothing but infrastructure as a service. It is also known as hardware as a service, right? It is a computing infrastructure managed over the internet. The main advantage of using IaaS is that it helps users to avoid the cost and complexity of purchasing and managing the physical servers, right? When we talk about IaaS, right, that is infrastructure as a service, you are purchasing the infrastructure from the cloud providers. That means you are renting out the infrastructure. Infrastructure might include servers, hardware devices, networking, networking compliances, these things, right? You're going to purchase, you're not going to purchase it, you are going to rent them out, and you are going to release the services, and now you are going to pay what you have used for. And next comes the platform as a service. Platform as a service is a cloud computing platform which is created for programmers to develop, test, run, and manage the applications. So here you are going to get directly a platform. Let me take okay, an iOS application developer, right, who specifically need iOS machine to test his applications, right? In that case, one should buy iOS operating system to test his environment, test his application, test his and test and monitor his application, right? So in these cases, he can directly go to the cloud providers and purchase only the iOS operating system, and he can directly perform whatever he want, and he can get the results in a better way with the low cost. And next comes the software as service. Software as service is also known as a demand software. Software as a service is also known as on-demand software. It is a software in which the applications are hosted by the cloud service providers. Users can access the application with the help of internet connection and web browser. So the best example I can say for software as a service is Gmail, right? Now, being a subscriber, you're using a service, that is mailing service, right? You're using Google Mail to send the emails and receive the emails, right? But you're not going to host an application of Gmail. You're not going to maintain it. You're not going to do anything with that. You're just going to use the software as a subscriber, right? And so I can give the best example for IaaS as AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. So these cloud providers are providing infrastructure as a service. You can go to them and purchase the infrastructure, rent it out, and you're going to use you're going to use it, and you're going to release the infrastructure so that you can pay what you have used. And next comes the platform as a service. I can give a best example as Elastic Bean Stack, which AWS is going to provide, right? It is a platform that AWS is going to provide that helps users to upload their application directly to the service. And It automatically monitors the performance, load capacity, and checks for the development errors so that a developer can directly upload their application, right, to the particular service, and he can check his performance, load capacity, and other deployment errors. And next comes the software as service. As I already given an example, as Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Docs, you're going to directly use a service, not any other than that, right? And next comes our deployment models. Our deployment models. So we have three deployment models. One is public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So public cloud is open to all to store and access information via internet using the pay-per usage method. As I already said, AWS is the best example for public cloud. Any user can create his own account on AWS, and he can store his data and access the information via internet, but he's going to pay what he has used. And now comes a private cloud. Private cloud is also known as the internal cloud or corporate cloud. It is used by the organization to build and manage their own data centers internally or by the third party. Let's take an example. I have a company that the data should be more secured, and I'm not going to believe any third party providers, right? So in that case, I'm going to purchase my own servers. I'm going to purchase my own network appliances and own routers, load balancers, these things and all, and I'm going to construct my own infrastructure. In that way, I'm going to have my infrastructure under my control, completely my control. So in these type of cloud models, we call it as private cloud. And next comes the hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is nothing but a combination of the public cloud and private cloud. So mainly companies use to to do the cost cutting for their business needs, I would say. Let me take an example as any banking servers, right? Only the bank employees having some sort of applications to use. So these applications might be a secured data. These applications only the bank employees are going to get access. So these particular application are going to host in private cloud, and obviously banking needs to be displayed all over to the customers on the public cloud. So these kind of information is not sensitive, I would say. So they're going to decide these applications who is having on a general web applications is going to be provided in public cloud. And next we are going to discuss more about Amazon Web Service, right? Amazon Web Service offers a broad set of global cloud-based products, including compute, storage, database, analytics, networking, mobile developer tools, management tools, IoT security, and enterprise application. So all these different type of services we are going to get from Amazon Web Services. So, and one of the major advantages with the Amazon Web Service is we can go to them and purchase, or we can go to them and rent the compute service, we can rent the storage service within a seconds, and that we are going to pay what we have used. And in 2006, Amazon Web Services began its IT infrastructure services to businesses as web services, now commonly known as cloud computing. One of the key benefits of the cloud computing is the opportunity to replace upfront capital infrastructure expenses with a low variable cost that scales your businesses. As I said, right? You're not going to purchase any servers, you're not going to purchase any hardware devices, you're not going to purchase any databases upfront, right? You're going to rent them directly from the AWS providers, AWS, Amazon Web Services, and now you're going to pay only for that. And that helps us to reduce more pay on upfront capital investments. And cloud, sorry, now AWS provider is a highly reliable, scalable, low cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that provides hundreds of thousands of businesses all over 190 countries around the world. You're going to learn these things in future with with betterment knowing on availability zones, regions of Amazon Web Services, these kind of things. So that's all for today. We'll wrap it up here and we'll discuss more in the coming video. Thank you.